Well, good morning, friends. We're going to get back at a few things on the little Datsun 720, which has a name now. Let's talk about that in a minute. And if y'all wouldn't mind subscribing, help an old guy out, sure appreciate it. Let's get to this thing. So I thought I'd bring everybody up to date here. I actually shot some video earlier in the week doing some replacements on this guy, and I lost the video. So basically what I did with it earlier in the week was replace the clutch slave cylinder on it finally. So that part's done. We're ready to just bleed that whole thing now. Also, this truck's got a name now. We decided we're going to call it Lazarus. If you're not familiar with it, there's a story from the Bible where Jesus raises a man named Lazarus from the dead. And I'm not claiming to be anything like Jesus at all, nor is this truck a human, but it's certainly been raised from the dead. And so we thought it would just be fitting to give it a name. So we call it Lazarus from now on. Thinking about racing it in the Redwood Rally next year here in Southwest Oregon, if it gets running well enough, and probably have somebody paint the name Lazarus on the side of it before we go. So with that, let's move on here and get some work done on this thing. That reverse switch on the side of the transmission, I just turned the ignition on, and well, that doggone thing, I've probably got a wonky socket in there because that was just working. This is the switch that was down on the side of the transmission. When you go into reverse, it just pops that button in, makes the lights come on. So that's working. Now I got to see what's up with this socket back here and get this bulb working. Okay, let's try that whole exercise again. We're in reverse, and yes, we have both backup lights. Needed to get a Dremel and a little grinding wheel into that socket and clean out some of the old garbage that's in it. So that worked. Now we got backup lights. I think I might even look at that tail light bulb. I think I might even look at the license plate bulb while I'm out here now. It's kind of funny, but this little truck, Lazarus, as I've mentioned, that we decided to call it, it really does want to get back on the road. All it needed was a bulb, and it's back in business again. That literally is 100% of the lighting, except for the interior cab light, and I may look at that at some point too. Well, it's time to replace this alternator on this thing. It squeals really bad. It doesn't charge well, so we're going to get down to it. You can kind of see it there. It's got one adjuster bolt on the top and then one big pivoting bolt on the bottom. It's not too tough to get this one out. It's got a plug that plugs in the back, and then a single wire. It's a single wire alternator, which is kind of cool. And then to get this one out, apparently it doesn't come out the top. I've never replaced one of these, but you got to get it out through this wheel well. This could be interesting. So let's go ahead and get started. Well, this was kind of cool. I went to buy an alternator for this, went to Rock Auto. It's an AC Delco. So it's going to be a good alternator. It wasn't very expensive. I think I paid like $45 for it. And there's a $6 core, so I'm going to keep that old one for $6. It's not worth the time to ship it back, I don't think. So let's get this power wire off of this alternator. So it should go without saying, but make sure you disconnect the battery first when you're doing this one. That's a 10. I'm probably going to need an 8. But while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and loosen these two bolts, the top one, which is the adjuster bolt on this thing, and then the bottom one is the big through bolt on it. So yeah, I can only get a quarter turn or so at a time because this fan's in the way, but that's all right, you know. We got nothing but time, right? I don't know if I've ever mentioned it before, but I'm retired. I retired this year. Super glad about that. And it gives me plenty of time to work on projects like this. Like I tell my wife, she kind of looks at this stuff I'm doing all the time, and she smiles. And I keep telling her, you know, it keeps me out of the bars. So, being the sweetheart that she is, she agrees with that. It does keep me out of the bars. Not that I'm a drinker anyway, but it's just something funny to tell her. I like to harass her with things like that. All right. Wow, this bottom bolt is this thing sucks. It's hard to get to. Is that a bolt, or who knows what in the heck I'm twisting on? That sure is a bolt. And you know, wouldn't be out of the ordinary for that one to be a different size, right? So the top one's a 14, bottom one's probably a 16. I brought two sockets out here with me, just anticipating that, because this kind of stuff happens all the time. Jeez. Not even a 16, huh? Well, let's get a 17 and an 18. See what happens. Wander into the shop here. What do we got back here? I don't know what size that is. Let's see what we got sitting in the kit over here. 17 and 18. Let's bring those. We'll start with a 17 on it and probably end up at an 18. I can estimate standard size is pretty good, but yeah, it's a 17. But I'm not real great at estimating the metric sizes. Okay. Wow, this is gonna be fun. I just don't have any room to get on it at all. Well, I mean, there's room, but human arms don't fit down in here. Fortunately, not blessed with gigantic arms. All right, let's see if we can break that loose. Oh, yeah. There it goes. And I don't know if that's got a nut on the back side of it or not. No, that's just a threaded through bolt. Cool. So, it's probably easier now that it's loose to just spin this wrench by hand. Oh, yeah. That's not so bad. Yeah, I'm lying. It's pretty bad. I'll just end up with a sore red arm tomorrow and be wondering out loud, why? What the heck did I do? That's because I jammed it all the way down in there where a human arm shouldn't be. I've got to find either a 9mm wrench or a pair of pliers so I can get that nut off the back side of that alternator, and I don't think I have a 9mm wrench, so we're just going to cheat and go with a pair of channel locks on that dude. They work. Not the best thing to use. The other thing that I've been wanting to do on this thing is I got to get in here and replace this oil pressure sending unit. And I think I've mentioned it, probably even shown it, that it's like just in the worst place possible on here. You got to get behind it. It's like you got to get behind it with a crow's foot, but the crow's foot's got to be long because you got to get around the edge of the sending unit. I don't have any long crow's feet. What I did find, though, on Amazon was how would you describe it? Well, I'll just get the tool later on and I'll show you, but I did find a tool that I think is going to let me get that thing off. And since I have to walk back in the shop, I'll grab the tool and the sending unit just to demonstrate it because, well, why not? Who knows where I've put the sending unit. So I'm not going to show you the sending unit, but I will show you the wrench. So we've got to get way back in behind that sending unit. So this guy is got this head on it like this, and then there's a 1/2 inch hole or 3/8. I don't know what that drive is, probably 3/8. So that's going to let me get back in there and crank off that oil pressure sending unit. That thing's going to be magic when the day comes, the time comes to take that off. I don't know if I'm going to take any video. I'm generally not a big swearing man, but I'm anticipating there's going to be some swearing on that. So going to take a pause here for a minute on this thing, find another tool that I need, and we'll be right back. All right, found the right size socket to get that off. Who'd have thought? It's 5/16, it's standard. That's to get the main power wire off that alternator, but I guess that's not a huge shock, seeing as how the alternator is made by AC Delco. Maybe the original one was too, and the Japanese just bought these American alternators because why not? So we'll get these last couple bolts out, get this belt loosened up. Hey, did you guys all hear? Ace Frehley died yesterday. Guitar player for Kiss. Yeah, I was a big old Kiss fan back in the day, like from 75 through, I don't know, about 10 years ago. So kind of a shock. Then a lot of our musicians from the childhood, at least of my era now, being I'm 62, and we're seeing a lot of the old guard passing away now, and it's a little bit odd. I've lost friends over the years. I've lost both my parents. My wife and I lost one of our sons almost 2 years ago as well, and so I guess you get to a point where in your life loss is a constant. It's just going to happen. It's kind of the way it is. We don't much like it, but that's just how it works. All right, let's finish that bottom bolt off now. Well, doggone it, what socket did I use in there before? Was it the 17 or the 18? They say when you start getting older, the memory's the first thing to go, and the second thing is yeah, not a funny joke, but all right, just about got this last bolt, or the only bolt off the bottom. A couple more turns and see if that dude will slide out of there. This is going to be a lot of fun getting this one back in. All right. How loosened up are we? We're kind of loosened up. There's that one. Let's get back to the 14 on this top one. thought about replacing this fan belt while I was in here too, but it's the rear one, and I don't know if I want to fart with it today. I actually do have the other one. I've got both of them, and like I said, I'm just not sure I want to pull them off both today. So yeah, that is our other bolt down there. This looks like it's got a mount on the back side of it too. And is there one? Yeah, there sure might be one. Looks like it's stuffed way down in there. Oh, wow, we got another ground wire going directly to the alternator too. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to cut this off, get some light back in there, and see what else I'm dealing with, and then we'll be right back. All right, well, 60 hours of fighting later, it's out, rusty, old. The big holdup was getting this ground off the backside of the old alternator, which I'm going to have to work on still, but this guy's a Hitachi. This is an original Datsun alternator. I'm going to go out on a limb with that one. It's probably the original one in this thing, and I'll get this off here and get it on the new one, get it up in there. I did have to cut the front wheels all the way over to the right and pull it out from the bottom as the book said on it. That's exactly what you got to do, unless you want to pull a couple other brackets off the top side. So there we are. It's out, and I'll prep the new one and we'll get it in there. Well, I know it's a terrible angle. You about can't see a darn thing in here, but I'm going to go ahead and show it like this because it's all I got for right now. I'm going to go ahead and hook up a couple of things. I'm going to clip on a field wire here real quick, and maybe if I can find it. I'm going to need some light. Need light. It's amazing how dark this stuff can be sometimes. There it is. Okay. And we're going to get this charging wire back on. Of course, the old one was a standard. This new one, the old one was a standard size nut on a Japanese part. This new one is a metric size nut on an American part. Go figure. All right, so that's on there. The last thing to do is to get this ground back on that belongs here for the alternator also. I'm kind of impressed that it had its own ground here too. Early on when I was chasing bad grounds and cleaning up grounds, I actually fixed this one. Saw it, fixed it. Knew that it was a big old ground going down in there for something. Didn't exactly know what for. And well, we've solved that mystery now. Boy, that sucker just don't want to thread back in, does it? I cleaned everything up before. Maybe I'll give it a shot of some blaster here real quick, because blaster helps everything. Okay. Now, do you want to thread? No, of course not. Probably should just find a different screw, because the screw is so stinking old, but really the screw is not the connection, the terminal to the... Oh yeah, that's lost. I dropped it. Well, it's got to be pretty much straight down and not much too farther either way. All right, well that screw's probably lost to the ether. So here's another one. Maybe I can drop this one too. I've actually got a drain pan under here because I still need to get under this and bleed that clutch master. My assistant has not had enough free time yet to be able to come and give me a hand with that, so still waiting. But I was thinking, if I'd have stuck that drip pan right under this where I was working, even if I'd have dropped something, I'd have pretty much found it again real quick. So, yeah, maybe something for the future. All right, well, with that all done, let's see about a start on this thing. I just hooked the battery up. I can hear the carb bowl filling up. That's kind of cool. So, make sure we're out of gear. Give it a few pumps. All right, I've got something wrong. I'll bet I knocked that stinking wire off of the starter solenoid again. Yeah, certainly. Every time I work on this dang thing. Because that connection down there's just not snug. It's going to strand me one of these days. I'm going to get super mad. I'll be alongside the road. And it's going to be my fault because I didn't make sure that it was on. Snug. All right. Yep. All right. Let's give it another go. Cold start. We already gave it 3 pumps. Maybe give it one more. Probably hasn't started in a week. So let's see what we get now. Wow. Yeah, that's way colder than I would anticipate it to be. So I'm going to stop this for a little bit and we'll take a look and see what the heck might be going on. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right. Put the new belts on it because the other one was squeaking pretty bad once I put this new alternator on. Put the new power steering belt on it too. We got 13.8 charging, which I'm fairly happy about because we had almost no charging before. Also put the new plug wires on it. That was super needed. At this point, it's still got to bleed this clutch master on it. I need to bundle some of this wiring back up. But at this point, once that clutch master's bled, I think we're ready to drive this thing. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up for this time. Going to get out here and bleed that clutch master next time around. See if we can drive it. So take care, everybody. Be good to each other. We'll see you next time.